Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel. Hi, Simone.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, of course. So, this episode, I want to talk about what it's like to be a spiritual woman. So we have a guest today. Her name is Simone, and Simone, do you want to give a little background about just who you are and your Instagram page and how you learned about the podcast?
Okay, so my Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, Twitter, everything is going to be at sistershmoney_. And I came to find your podcast just like typing in, Black Spiritual Podcast, and yours was one of them that kind of stood out to me.
Okay.
And I really love it. And a lot of stuff you say resonates with me.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad you like it. So, I know we're not going to talk about it too much, but you do tarot readings,
Yes.
right? And how did you get into that?
I guess you could say I was led to it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just touch on a bunch of different spiritual type of things. I went to a float pod before. I did a full moon meditation with like complete strangers. Like, I'm just always trying like new stuff.
Okay. So who taught you about what it meant to be a woman?
I would definitely say a lot of it came from my home because I have a family full of females,
Okay.
It can get a little bit crazy and chaotic.
Right.
But I want to say it definitely started in the home. Then in my adult life, like one of my friends, she sent me Queen Afula's book, Sacred Woman.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she like digs deep and teaches you like the importance of your womb and like womb wellness.
Right.
And like I had no idea about any of this stuff. So
yeah, I have that book too. It is pretty helpful.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. So, when did you learn it, and how did it make you feel about womanhood? Like, when did you learn about womanhood?
I want to say about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You really think like something, but like it goes so deep. It's like so many different perspectives and perceptions and views on Black women, period.
Right.
And nobody really talks about like what it takes to nurture her mind, her body, or her spirit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very important.
For sure.
So, do you how old are you right now?
How old am I?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 28.
Okay, nice. And you live in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do
On
you
the
like
shore. I wish it was more diverse.
Okay.
Put it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. That's how it is up here too. I'm in Boston, so I definitely understand. So to you, what is feminine in your own words?
To me, feminine is beauty in all colors, sizes, and shapes. I feel like it's a strong, nurturing, loving, fierce energy. It's a force. Our connection to the moon is our counterpart to our masculine,
Right. And do you yourself feel feminine? Why or why not?
I definitely do feel feminine. Like, I love every part of my body, all aspects of myself. Like, I like being sexy.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It's important too, because it's like, it's just liberating, if anything, as a woman.
You have to feel yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so I guess I kind of, do you enjoy being a woman, and have you always enjoyed womanhood?
Yes, I definitely love every part of it. Like being able to be a mom. I feel like I'm at my best when I'm teaching other people how to like nurture themselves and how to care for themselves, And I definitely didn't at first. I didn't understand it, but once I educated myself, like I fell in love with everything that like represents what a woman is and our connection to the universe.
Right. Can you talk a little bit more about like what you mean by how us being a woman, how we connect with the universe?
You know, our womb is specifically connected to the universe. How we tend to our wombs is a reflection of our outer world.
Mm-hmm. That's a good perspective, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Definitely have to like you said that a book. It would definitely from Akua, I think her name is.
Yeah, Queen of Fu.
She definitely talks about how to care for your womb and how the importance of it. Like you really, I feel like growing up, you really don't get that information, at least from like school and stuff like that.
No, you don't. You
Right.
should.
Right. Yeah, because it's definitely like you said, it definitely plays a key role in like your outer life. So yeah, is there a presence of divine femininity in your life, whether through your own personal spiritual practice or an organized religion?
I would definitely say Mayette. I feel like she represents the foundation of who I am,
Okay.
like the principles I live by and work at every day.
Hmm. Can you talk a little bit more about Maya for people who might not know?
She represents balance, and she's also like depicted with the scale of justice.
Hmm.
And I'm a Libra, so like I felt like a real connection with her.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. um, so how does this feminine presence or lack thereof influence your ideas of femininity and womanhood?
I feel like it just reminds you to keep a balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you're not only feminine, you know, you're not just your feelings and your emotions, and that any pain you have, you can turn it into passion.
Right.
And when you learn to balance the two, you know, in between is where you find paradise.
Mm-hmm. I like that. How do you balance for yourself?
Every day is different, and every day brings different challenges. So I would say, based on the challenges that it brings, like I might light some sage, you know, I might take a bath, I might play some meditation music, I might go outside, go for a walk, be in nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, and tell us a little bit about how your spirituality has impacted your sexuality as a woman.
Um, I feel like, you know, it just reminds you to be mindful of who you share your energy with and how to make better choices in men.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely important. Because that sexual exchange of energy is definitely can either help you or hurt you, right?
Yes, it can be a setback
Yeah.
or it can get you to your destination.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely. I think that's definitely another thing that we as women need to be taught too. Like, be very. And even though it's like it's not always going to be easy to do so, like to know that this person is completely good or bad for you, but it's just like important to pay attention to um how your
Those
body,
red flags.
yeah, and how your body responds too, right? Because sometimes your body can
Definitely.
literally reject someone uh from intimacy or sexual, you know what I mean, like sexual um sexual action. So like you just pay attention to how your body is responding to someone, just how your body responds to someone's energy. Like does it make you happy or does it kind of bring you down, things like that. Like you said, just paying attention to red flags.
And toxic people, like, they have a stench to them, like, you know.
Yeah. um so what advice would you give to a woman beginning her spiritual journey?
I would say figure out who you want to be in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Start making those changes that you want to make toward that lifestyle. And when it comes to your journey, can I curse on here?
Yeah,
Yeah, when it comes to your journey, remember that this is your shit,
yeah.
not nobody else's. You feel me? And definitely do your research because there's so misinformation out there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Yeah. So when did you begin
definitely.
your spiritual journey?
I want to say, oh man, I was always like spiritual. It was always like within my family, but we didn't know because me and my sisters were also like raised by a reverend.
Okay.
So like we kind of were like boxed in and we didn't have that freedom to kind of like discover different type of systems that worked for us.
Mm-hmm.
But once we got older, we were able to do that. And yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like tested out different things, tried different things. And after like a couple of toxic relationships, I want to say, it led me to, meditation and just finding that inner peace and not giving anything outside of me control.
Right. That's definitely
giving my power away.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Like we as women need to realize how much power we have, and as a whole, but also especially within a relationship, right? Like
we don't give ourselves enough credit.
No. Yeah, that's true. Society really tries to like you said, kind of box us in and make us feel like, even like, they try to say how women are so emotional and stuff. And it's like, and I feel like sometimes that can be have a negative impact on women too, because then now I feel like this whole savage, mindset that is promoted and like not having feelings. It's just like, you're allowed to have feelings, you know what I mean? It's just like you said,
don't let them rule you.
Yeah, and learning how to balance them, and knowing how to express yourself too,
Definitely.
And like
a lot of females, they go to like rage and set anger. They want to bleach clothes, cut up stuff. I'm not judging because I've done it too. Like
yeah.
But you can't let a person get you to that place. Like,
right,
you're so much better.
Yeah, and you're still giving them the power. You know what I mean? Like they can get you that upset to make you do that. No, when there's so many, I think that sometimes we forget there's so many options out there. Like even though the dating pool is probably not that great right now, but that it's still like, despite that, there are still good people. It's just like taking your time.
For sure.
And also letting them come to you. Like you're the prize. I was talking to a friend about that the other day. Like we as women, I think today we kind of forget how much we are the prize, so I feel like that also kind of plays into your like tapping into your spirituality as a woman and where you are.
Yes, you are the catch.
Yeah, and what your mindset is, right? Because it's all about your mindset too, and like you said, kind of how you take care of yourself, how you carry yourself. Is what you attract, but it's up to you whether you want to entertain it or not.
Definitely.
So right now, you're still technically on your? I feel like when you begin your spiritual journey, it's never something that ends, right?
No, it never stops. It just it changes.
Yeah. And right now we're in Mercury retrograde, which has been doing a number on me. I don't know about you.
I mean, it's been doing well for me because I've been like kind of like ahead of the game and like writing everything out and on my P's and Q's.
So when you say writing everything out, what do you mean? Like journaling and stuff?
Like goals, shadow work, all that kind of stuff. Like really getting into it. Like I'm ready for that new phase.
Yeah. Do you know much about? Could you possibly talk a little bit about what Mercury retrograde is and like what that means spiritually?
I believe that's when everything kind of like goes back and it affects communication, whether it be emails, phone calls, a letter going out. And it's really a time to kind of remind yourself who you want to be because something's going to come up to where you're being tested. Like, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the same person, or do you want to move on from this chapter?
Yeah, that's true. So it's almost like it's a bit of a test, but it's also kind of a way for you to make a change, right? Basically, for your life.
For sure, yeah. That's your way of kind of like giving what you want to the universe. Like you saying yes and no to certain things, raising that frequency and that vibration.
Yeah, definitely. So what you meditate on a daily basis?
I try to at night, and then I'll do my affirmations in the morning. I'll write out my goals.
The affirmations that you do, you make them up yourself, or you just found them somewhere?
I just found them somewhere.
Okay.
But I kind of like go through a couple of ones and see which ones work for me and which best fit me.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to manifest,
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you usually do like for the full moon and stuff, do you do like manifestation for that too?
Yeah, definitely. I charge my crystals and my cards.
so you have crystals too. I don't have any crystals yet. I do want to get some.
Oh my God, you have to get some.
Yeah.
You can like feel the difference, like when you have them in your hand, like you
Mm-hmm.
just feel its energy.
Can you explain a little bit about what crystals are and like how that can help you spiritually too, or?
Crystals, I would say they come from all over the world. One of my favorite stones is a seer stone, and that comes from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like these little stones, and they have like a little window in it. And it says like you can look into it and meditate into it and see positive outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And like they have all these different other stones, like a rose quartz is good for the heart chakra,
Mm-hmm.
and it can help realign that. And yeah, depending on what you want to work on and what area you want to focus on, they have a stone for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw them online too. Like, and do you use a meditation bowl as well or no?
I have a singing bowl. Yes. Oh my God. I love it
I
so
need to
much.
get
Like
one
it's
so bad.
so soothing. It's so soothing. Like I can't even explain to you the feeling you get when you do it. Like it's just like, ah.
Do you feel like that makes the meditation even better, like the session that you do?
Yes, it definitely like it calms my anxiety because I have a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
So it like chills me.
Okay. Definitely, I definitely want to get one too because I have a little anxiety too. So I definitely been seeing the singing bowl. I should just get one.
It really sounds so beautiful.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know, Janae Aiko. She uses them. She used them for her last album, and it is pretty soothing.
I love her mantra she has on there.
Yeah, me too. I like that one. I sometimes I meditate to that one too.
I play it a lot.
Yeah. Um. So okay, that's good. So what you mentioned shadow work, right?
Yes.
Can you kind of talk a little bit about that, like what that means to you and what you know about that?
Shadow work is when you perform a ritual and you kind of, tap into whether it be your past self or your inner child, and you really address the darkest parts of yourself and you bring light to those parts so that they can't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can do it by just answering questions and really connecting the dots to, why you are the way you are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to do that too myself. Like, definitely tap into more, do more shadow work because, like you said, it definitely plays a role in who you are as an adult. But it's taking that responsibility that doesn't have to be who you are still, just because that's how you were raised. If that makes any sense, like
That's what they mean by do the work.
yeah, yeah, like basically reparenting the inner child, right?
Definitely, definitely giving that child the love that you didn't receive when you were a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some people are like still inside, like yearning for that.
Mm-hmm. And it plays a role in like, or it comes out pretty much. They always say in like your relationships, right? The type of people that you choose and how you are in relationships um, can definitely highlight shadow work that you need to have to do for yourself. Um, so yeah. What about? I know we're not going to talk too much about it, but what about? I know you said you got into tarot, and why do you still do it? Like, what makes you still want to keep working on it?
I like showing other people like how to get into it and like how to understand the foundation of the cards and their connection to it. Cause it's like once you learn tarot and the meanings behind all the cards, like you just develop this like great connection with the cards, and it's like they will tell you whatever you want to know, like in just like the beautifulest way. Like just tell a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like
That's so cool.
yeah, I feel like tarot can be definitely soothing if you have like anxiety about things that are happening in your life because obviously I don't no, I think that praying is helpful too, but I feel like tarot is another way to kind of tap in and get some answers that maybe prayer won't be able to give you right away as you know what I mean, if that makes any sense.
For sure. I get messages from my spirit guide through tarot. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really dope.
Yeah. Um Yeah, definitely. I enjoy tarot. And man, what was I just about to ask you? Oh, okay. So, what would you tell yourself 5 years ago that, like, thinking about what you know now, um, of the woman that you were 5 years ago, what would you tell her, or what advice would you give her?
I would tell her to stay focused, stay on your path. Don't let anybody take you off your path. Don't be distracted, you know. And those bitches are not your friends.
It's true though. You have to learn though. It's a part of life, right? You have to. We as women have to learn that. Like men too, because they think that their bros are their bros, but it's not really.
Maybe their downfall.
No, you have to like you said, make sure you're protective of your aura and your energy and who you let around you.
Definitely.
That,
Own it.
yeah, because and if you have to, and I think that sometimes we have to remember that it is okay to be alone, not just romantically, but even sometimes you need that time to yourself. You don't always have to hang out with your friends and whoever else. Like get to know yourself too. I think that's important. Um, for us as adults to just tap into that and get to know yourself too.
Know what makes you happy.
Right, exactly. Because if you don't know what makes you happy, then how is someone else going to be able to figure it out either?
A lot of people are so busy trying to make other people happy, like they don't even know.
Right. What makes them happy themselves, right? I
Right.
feel like when we had quarantine and it forced everyone to kind of sit down and like some people, if you live alone, like I talked about in the podcast, like it just made me like be by myself so much to the point where it's like, okay, like you kind of have to think about like why don't you want to be by yourself? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's cool to have people around, but it just kind of
there was a moment in my journey where I really had to ask myself, like, why am I alone and who would want to be with me?
Yeah, no, it's serious, especially because
It's a hard pill to swallow. Like, would you want to be
yeah.
around you?
Um, hold on 1 second. I am going to hold on. I'm going to stop the recording really quick. Okay. I have to call you right back. 1 second.
Okay. Hey.
Hey, sorry about that.
Okay.
The phone call came in and interrupted the recording. Um, but where were we? So, yeah. So, what about any like, uh, do you read any like self help books or spiritual books as well? I know you mentioned that one book, but any other ones that you've been reading lately?
It was so weird. When I started off on my journey, a lot of Chopper's books, they started popping up.
Okay.
I love him, and like the way he just like explains everything, it's like it like clicks.
Yeah. No, I've been hearing about him too. I want to get some of his books too. I heard they're good.
Yeah, he's great.
So do you tend to try to read as much as you can, like, or?
Yeah, I read when I can. I try to. A lot of the times when I fall asleep at night, I'm reading.
I think it's good as adults to continue practicing that. There's always something new to learn. So, making sure you exercise that, part of our brain is definitely important. So let's talk a little bit more about your spiritual journey too. Like, did you feel like when you were on your journey, did you feel like you were alone at some times, or like you were kind of like, did you feel like you were losing friends, or not really on the same level as the people that you used to be around? Like, did it change things for you?
It kind of just felt like I kind of had an outer body experience, I want to say. And it was kind of like I was just watching everything happen around me. And then once I became aware, it's like, this is going on, that's going on. This is the kind of people I'm around. And then once I cut everything out and I was just by myself, I really had time to like you said, understand who I was and what I wanted and the bar that I set for myself and the people that I wanted to have in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, and for me, like, I struggle with sometimes, like, when you have friends or you have people that you're connected to and you really enjoy their company, but then like as time goes on and you get to know them and you see where they're at in their journey and then you see where you are, and sometimes that just doesn't always align, right? Or the
And I also learned too that it doesn't matter if other people are on different spots in their journey. It's a matter of where you are in yours and how you're able to deal with those people when they come into your circle,
right.
because those are going to be like reflections of you and parts of you that you need to work on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know about you, but I definitely feel like you don't meet people by accident, right? Like people
No,
come into your life for whether it be a lesson or a blessing or both. Um,
definitely. Nothing's a coincidence.
yeah, nothing is a coincidence. um, and it's usually the people who catch you by surprise that teach you the best lessons. Um, and you said, like, I agree that some people that come into your life, they are like a mirrors of things. So I feel like certain connections, they bring out the best in you, but they also bring out the things in you that you still haven't healed.
You
You
ever
know?
met somebody you just like you could not stand, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's like this person is so much like me.
Yep. Yep. So it's like a mirror, right? Someone,
Right.
yeah. And that's usually when that happens, it's like if you can just allow yourself to like learn, like, okay, what I don't like about them is what it's a parts of me that maybe I need to work on too. Um, and then it allows you to do that work too. So definitely it's annoying, but it's a good thing when that
Right.
happens too, right? um so as far as you being on your spiritual journey and you have your goals and you're doing the work for yourself, how do you feel that has impacted, if at all, your dating experiences and love life right now?
It saved me so much wasted time, so much time. I'm not wasting my time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in tune with who I am and what I want, and I'm not letting anybody else tell me who I am. Or just give me crumbs like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's what you next,
Yep.
next.
Yeah, and that could be that's definitely a good thing to have as a woman. You know what I mean? Like, not to settle. Um, and how do you feel about like the when you're doing that? Like, obviously you're gonna make sure you get the best for yourself, but how do you keep yourself, like someone who might be listening who's doing the same thing? How do they remain positive that they're still gonna get the person that they want or they desire?
You close your eyes and you see that person, you feel that person, you love that person, and know that person is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's gonna be shit that may look like that person, but you have to use your discernment
Mm-hmm.
and pay attention to those red flags and choose yourself every time.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Um, can you talk a little bit more about discernment? Like, how did you learn to use that?
I was told I was judgmental, or it was me being judgmental, but I did my research and I was using my spiritual discernment. It's a gift that we all have.
Mm-hmm.
And just really paying attention and listening to your intuition, that gut feeling, and what you feel in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Something might be wrong, or oh, this person might be doing that. Like, follow your spirit. If you feel a situation isn't for you, then it's not for you. Chances are, if you have those questions, then you got to walk away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like a lot of women, like we have that. We as women, we have that gift of having intuition, right? So we have to use it. Because even if I don't know if you see, like, even online, like you'll see guys saying, like, use your intuition. Like it's there for a reason. And like you said, it kind of helps you with discernment and I know that sometimes it's not always easy to just walk away, especially when you really like this
It's
person
not.
and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, if you know what I mean, like why can't you just be where you need to be for me,
But all that energy you're putting into that person, wishing for them to be somebody else, you could have that person.
exactly. Yeah, that's true too. A little, yeah, just keep going basically until you meet your person. Um, yeah.
We wanna naturally hold on to everything we touch, but we gotta learn the art of letting go.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. And letting people figure things out on their own too, right? About what they need to do for themselves.
Exactly.
Because not everyone is, I don't know about you, but I definitely have learned that within dating and just like in general, like not everyone is ready to do that work. They'd
No.
rather stay in this toxic or, avoid their
It's
feelings.
familiar.
Yeah, instead of just tapping in.
Be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Be uncomfortable. Do everything that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Ooh.
If it makes you uncomfortable, say yes.
I know, it's so hard. Look, honestly, like I just did something the other day that it was definitely not in my comfort zone, but I was just like, I felt like it was the universe just constantly, like, not eating at me, but tapping at me, like, do it, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, you need to do it for your, for your peace of mind. Because I feel like for me, like, when I began this journey and like where I am now, I desire so much peace of mind. Like, if you're gonna be around me and be in my life, you need to bring me peace, not
Mm-hmm.
confusion and just highs and lows and like no, it's not always.
Wondering, what are we? What are we doing? Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I need to know.
right, yeah. I mean, I know I talked about that. I always talk about that with friends, like dating. It's just like I don't understand what's going on with these people
No,
nowadays. Like, it's just
options are very slim.
yeah. Like even the fact that we as women have to even think about asking, "What are we?" Like, why? Like, why is that the new norm? I don't know. It's interesting. Um, but like you said, it's just like I feel like as women, we have to just stay focused on our own goals and what we're trying to do for ourselves, and you will come across that person that you're supposed to be with when you're in your zone. Um,
For sure. Be ready to receive them.
mhm. Yeah, you have to believe it too.
Have your arms open wide, not holding on to no exes or nobody that's past you.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, so I feel like we tapped into a lot of things today.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to possibly say on your episode about, your
I feel
journey?
like I feel like we covered so much.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
This was a great conversation,
No, yeah,
and
definitely.
thank you so much for having me on
Oh
here.
no, thank you for listening and being willing to be a guest. I definitely appreciated the gems that you dropped. If you want to possibly shout out your Instagram again.
Yes, it's gonna be at sister shmoney _.
Okay. And I will tag you too in the post so that people can follow follow you too.
Wait to hear it.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Simone, for joining us today. Um
Keep up the great
thank
work.
you. And I look forward to we gotta do this again.
Yes,
Definitely.
it's a pleasure. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you. All right. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, okay?
You too. Enjoy yours.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.